You're 29 years old. You have a multi-million-dollar contract. You're a beloved player in the NBA. You're giving back to the community. You're making music. Your life seems to be perfectly on track. And then, one morning, the NBA world is shattered by the news of your death, the sudden passing of Brandon Clarke, the star known for bringing pure energy to the Memphis Grizzlies, shocked not just the NBA but the entire basketball world. Because looking from the outside, everything microfilm looked completely normal. This past weekend, a California barber shared a video on his Instagram page. The footage lasts barely 20 seconds. At first glance, everything is so ordinary. A cat lounging on the floor, Brandon Clarke talking on the phone while holding a bottle of water, and then that brief look at his fresh haircut. Clarke had even commented under the video saying, "Love Brotha," but by Tuesday evening, that comment section turned into a digital funeral. Praying hands, crying eyes, and those specific three letters, R.I.P. Brandon Clarke wasn't born a star. He was born in Vancouver, to a Canadian mother and a Jamaican father. Clarke was just 3 years old when his family moved to Phoenix. He played at Desert Vista High School and carried his team all the way to the Arizona State Championship game. Despite all of this, he didn't have a single offer on the table. He received 0 invitations from major programs. Why? Because every scout report said the exact same thing. His shot is broken, it cannot be fixed. Eventually, he went to San Jose State, a small school in a league that nobody bothered to watch. His defense was incredible, and his athleticism was off the charts. He was grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, and reaching everywhere on the floor. But still, nobody saw him as a future NBA player. That was until he transferred to Gonzaga. His coach there, Mark Few, didn't care about his poor shooting form. He saw the immense athleticism inside him. Clarke spent a full year completely rebuilding his shot from scratch. After that, he put on one of the most efficient seasons in college basketball history, averaging 16.9 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 3.2 blocks per game. He scored in double figures in all 37 games he played, and recorded exactly 13 double-doubles. He became the block leader in the entire NCAA, and the craziest stat of that season might be this. Brandon Clarke blocked exactly as many shots as he missed from the field that year. A perfect 117 blocks and 117 missed shots. Especially his performance in the Duke game. It was like watching a basketball legend. He was blocking a monster like Zion Williamson at the rim, changing the entire momentum of the game with back-to-back defensive stops. That season, his block against Tennessee was shown by many as one of the best blocks of the year. Clarke's only comment about this block was, "It was a really cool highlight." This humility summarized everything about Clarke. That season, Brandon Clarke was no longer a hidden talent. The NBA had finally noticed him. The 2019 NBA Draft. The Oklahoma City Thunder selected him with the 21st overall pick and traded his rights to the Memphis Grizzlies that very same night. Clarke arrived in Memphis the exact same summer as Ja Morant. He recorded 4 double-doubles in the Summer League. He became the MVP of both the tournament and the championship game. He was the first player in Summer League history to win both awards at the same time. In his rookie season, he finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting with 12 points and 6 rebounds, earning a spot on the All-Rookie First Team. Then, as the team grew, Clarke grew too. In the 2021-2022 season, the Grizzlies tied a record that had only been reached once before in franchise history: 56 wins. In the playoffs, Clarke was on another level. In the closeout game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he played with 17 points and 11 rebounds. In October 2022, the Grizzlies gave him a massive reward, a 4-year, $52 million contract extension. Everything was rising to the top. But then, the nightmare began. For a career built entirely on athleticism, the last 3 years were absolute hell. His back, his hip, his thumb, his thigh, his kneecap, his hand, his toe, and even his lip. Clarke was injured almost everywhere. Between 2023 and 2026, he was able to play in only 72 out of a possible 246 games. Just as he was about to reach the peak of his career, his body began to fail him. He suffered an Achilles injury, one of the most terrifying injuries for any NBA player. Many players can come back from it, but they never return as the same player. For Clarke, the process was incredibly heavy, and this devastation wasn't just physical. One of the hardest things for a player, especially when your entire identity is built on energy and athleticism, is to sit on the bench and watch your team helplessly. But the interesting part was that Brandon Clarke never showed this to the outside world. He was always positive in his interviews. His teammates said he was still giving energy to everyone. He was even turning to new things outside of basketball. He was making music, releasing songs under the name BCVS, and he had albums on Spotify. At the same time, he was doing serious work for the Memphis community. After Brandon Clarke's death, one of the things people talked about the most was what a wonderful person he was. Because he wasn't just an NBA player, he founded his own charity in 2025 to help families in need. He was especially close with children. He would visit an elementary school to donate books to kids, celebrate his birthday with students, and support after-school programs. Following his passing, the donations made in his name absolutely exploded. Because this city truly loved him from the bottom of its heart. And this is one of the most important details of the story. April 1st, 2026, Arkansas. Clarke's Corvette was pulled over by the police following a high-speed chase while passing cars at over 100 miles per hour. And it was reported that kratom was found in the vehicle. It was also alleged that he was carrying a THC vape. While kratom is a plant used to treat pain and anxiety, it was strictly illegal within the borders of Arkansas. Clarke faced felony charges for drug trafficking and fleeing from law enforcement. Because of this, his future was dragged into massive uncertainty. In fact, he was expected to appear in court just a few days after his death. Now, here is an important point to focus on. The official cause of death has not been finalized yet, but according to some sources, the incident is being investigated as a possible overdose. It was also alleged that narcotics were found at the scene. And honestly, this news shook the NBA world even deeper. Because people never viewed Brandon Clarke as that kind of person. Everyone started asking the same question. What was happening? Was it the heavy psychological burden brought on by the injuries, the stagnation of his career, the never-ending physical pain, or was it loneliness? Perhaps we will never know the full answer, but we have seen similar examples of this in the sports world before. Even if everything looks normal from the outside, massive wars are being fought on the inside. Brandon Clarke was only 29 years old when he died. Normally, he had long years ahead of him. Maybe he was going to make a spectacular comeback. Maybe he would turn into a wise bench veteran. Or maybe he would focus on his music career after basketball. Who knows? But today, people do not remember him just as a basketball player. The things his teammates shared were deeply striking. Everyone wanted to be around him. He was always smiling. He was the pure energy of the team. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver specifically highlighted how deeply loved he was within the team. And I think Brandon Clarke's story reminds us of this. We, as fans, usually only see these players on the court. The statistics, the contracts, the highlight videos. But behind that screen, there are real human beings. People fighting through injuries, living under massive pressure, and carrying heavy mental burdens. And sometimes, nothing is what it looks like from the outside. Brandon Clarke was never a superstar, but he left a deep mark on the NBA. With his energy, with his struggle, and with the warm impact he left on people. Memphis will never forget him. Gonzaga fans will never forget him. The NBA world will always remember him. And perhaps the most tragic part of this story is this. What he needed the most during the final period of his life was probably not basketball, it was simply support. Rest in peace, Brandon Clarke.